Hey friends, it's Eric Montgomery here, and I'm sitting with Dominico Carchidi. And Dominico was a deep sea diver in World War II aboard the USS Falcon. And I got to know Dominico a few years ago and had some time here this afternoon. We just had a really nice lunch, and I thank you, Dominico, for that. And I thought, since it's the 75th anniversary of the end of the war in World War II, that I'd do a little impromptu video here at Dominico's home. So, Dominico, thank you so much for this opportunity. And you've been coming to Conneaut last few years. What do you think about that event?
I'm going to miss it this year because of the virus, and it opens up a lot of people's eyes that really didn't know what had happened. And I really believe that when people go to Conneaut, they should bring their grandchildren to let them know what the World War II was about and why they're having a good life today because of our old generation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's certainly the educational mission of the event, is to make sure that people don't forget. But that being said, 75 years ago was the end of the war, and we were just talking about what happened in August aboard the Falcon.
Oh.
And so 75 years ago, when the announcement was made that the Japs surrendered, what happened?
Well, we got the word over the radio because there was no TV in them days, and all of a sudden we started hearing whistles blowing, and it got so loud you couldn't even hear yourself breathing. And then we went out on the deck and we seen other ships on the what the heck, the docks, jumping and hollering and screaming and hugging each other. Oh my God, it was such a show. It's unbelievable. You couldn't hear your friend right next to you talk because them ships had some loud horns. Yeah. But it was really a sight to see, and I was glad to be part of it.
Well, I know that, where were you at that time?
New London, Connecticut.
Oh, okay, so New London, Connecticut.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, we worked with the subs mostly there in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Now, the Penguin was at Portsmouth, New Hampshire at the time, so we don't know how much dancing they did. They were our sister ship. But the old girl, as we called her, the Falcon, did his job, and I bet you there was a lot of submariners that really liked us, because we even took pictures with the sub one time because they liked us so well. Yeah. And you got that picture.
Yeah. In fact, here's one of the pictures right here. Dominico shared with me today, and this is him on the deck of the Falcon. Between the legs, there's the anchor there. But what's most interesting about that picture is the ice on the handrail and the guide wire leading up to the mast of the ship. You can see the ice hanging down from this picture. So I'm going to take this and make it a bigger copy for Dominico, as I've done with several other pictures that he had.
Can you put that on Facebook?
Oh yeah, that's it'll just part of the movie right here that I just took.
Oh, good.
So I don't know if I put that one on Facebook, but I certainly will.
How about the one with the ship was just full of ice after we got there?
Oh yeah, I'll put them all out there if you want me to.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm happy to share your story.
Yeah.
So when did you join the Navy? When did you become a part of that?
Well, I signed up in '44, but I didn't take the oath, so they didn't credit me for '44 until January of '45.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't take the oath. I always thought I joined in 1944.
I see.
And within 9 months of the time I went in and everything, I became a diver. They really pushed us right along because during the war they needed divers real bad. Yeah. And that's how I got to be one, by fooling around. I didn't want to plan on being a diver, but I got to be one, and I'm so glad I was part of it.
Of course, you're very proud of the diving rating that you were given by the ship's captain.
Oh yeah. I got to.
It's on your hat there.
I got to be the emblem of a diver, and not going to school, and it's the emblem of a first-class diver, even though I was only a second class. But my performance was impeccable. Yeah. And they said I earned it, so they gave me one.
And you're not a big man, but you had a big role to play, for sure.
Well, I was 16 years old at the time, you know.
Yeah.
But
Imagine that.
I'm glad I became a diver, because if not, what would I have been on the ship? Just a regular seaman.
Yeah.
But this way, I played a good part in helping a man come back to life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of all the rescues that you had, do you know how many fellows that you maybe have rescued, or
The last ship was 47.
47 guys?
47. The first two, they were all about 3 or 4 weeks apart. And the first two was close to our shorelines. They weren't more than 100 miles away from our shorelines.
And they went down, and you had to get in the diving apparatus, the bell?
Yeah, I was in the hard hat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I just can't believe it. Our own subs getting shot down not more than 100 yards off our shores.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen that in documentaries already, and it happened. We don't know how lucky we were, really.
Yeah.
That's why they found a torpedo in New Jersey on shore. Did you know that?
Oh, a German torpedo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
On shore in Germany. Did you ever see that in
A German torpedo on our shores
on
here?
our shore?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that just goes to show you how close they were.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I have seen some pictures of taken from German submarines of New York, all lit up at night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They knew exactly when our convoys were going out. They knew. They knew everything about us. Yeah. I think they broke our code, which we didn't agree to it or accepted that let the people know that they did break our code as well as we broke their code.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of things we'll never know about World War II. Yeah. You know that.
That picture here that I just showed before, this one again, where were you when this was taken, and had to be in the North Atlantic somewhere?
It's all my experience was North Atlantic. We was going to the David Straits up in Greenland, from there to the bottom circle of the North Pole to watch a sub come up, not out of the ice, just to come up to see if he could navigate up into the North Pole.
Oh, okay.
And we was there 10 days, and we shoveled snow for water, and it takes 52 GI cans to make 12 GI cans of fresh water. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
That'll be a good quiz for the America's Millionaire, right?
Yeah.
Phone a friend.
Yeah.
How many GI?
52 GI cans to make 12 GI cans of water.
How about that?
Yeah.
How big was the Falcon? How big of a ship?
Oh, I think it was about 125 feet long.
How many were on board?
About 60.
60 guys. And how many divers?
We had eight, let's see, 16 divers, and we had to borrow 8 on our last sub-rescue from the Falcon, because they sent down...
Oh, from the Penguin.
From the Penguin.
Yeah.
Onto the Falcon, because they needed 3 divers for each dive.
Okay.
My first dive, like I said before when I talked, they weren't going to let me go down, but my teacher, J.J. Hurley, says, no, he's my partner, he's going with me. Mm-hmm. So I did go down on the first dive, and they said I got lost because it was so dark down there, and by me getting turned around, I found a shortcut to the sub by accident, which helped all the other divers. And I had such a good time diving, but not in them kind of conditions for why we was diving,
right,
that I volunteered for everything that had to be done as long as I got in a suit and was able to dive.
Yeah. How long could you go down for, or was that unlimited? Because didn't they have a line that went from the ship all the way down?
It's called a descending line.
Okay.
And it's, on this last dive was 275 feet.
Wow.
And if we would have went down another 40 feet, we would have been pretty well damaged.
Yeah. Yeah, you need the diving bell to do that.
No, diving bell don't help us do that.
Oh, okay.
No, diving bell's only good as we are.
Okay.
We make the seal. The diving bell is just sitting there hopelessly on top of a sub, not knowing when the hatch was going to open,
Okay.
if it ever was going to open. But
Okay.
with Levinsky and Hurley, they were determined on that dive that hatch was going to be open.
And so they got those 47 guys
47,
out?
but they only took out 7 at a time.
I see.
So my second dive was 3 nights later at 11 o'clock, which don't matter because after you're down 25, 30 feet, it's dark anyhow. So what's the difference what time you go down?
Right.
You know.
Right.
And that was quite an experience for me, being so young.
Yeah. Well, you're probably one of the youngest World War II veterans that I know at 93. And most of the fellows that I know are 95 to 100 years old now.
That's because my birth certificate happened to be a little bit altered from a 7 to a 5.
Okay.
To get in.
Yeah.
And then whenever I got out, me and the lieutenant at the Fargo building had some bad words to say to each other because he kept asking me the same damn full question, how old, and I kept telling him how old I am. He said, no, I don't mean how old you was when you came in. I said, sir, I'm trying to tell you right now, I'll be 27 years old, 18 years old this October. Well, you was in the service almost 2 years. I said, sir, I lied to get in. And his attitude was, well, you are one of them. I said, yes, I was one of them. He meant one of them who lied to get in.
Yeah.
But he wrote down all the right numbers that time, made me legal.
Yeah.
So that was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think from your experience in World War II? What would you like to share with the young kids today?
The young kids today got a lot to learn about the old generation. When you see us old people on the street, don't say, get out of the way, old man. We are the ones that made you happy today and have a good life today. And you should go to the service and spend a little bit of time, even if it's just peacetime service. You get one heck of an education, and then you have an idea of what we did just so you could have a good life today.
Yeah.
That's my feelings about you young kids.
Well, I know at lunch we talked about, everybody is eventually going to meet their maker, and you asked me to be a speaker at your funeral whenever that does happen, and what an honor that is for me. Thank you.
Yeah, they all asked me to have a rerun to see how it worked out. And I said, no, I don't think I want a rerun of this thing. They want you to start speaking and practice. They're just kidding me, of course.
But I tell you, I last few years, all the deer running by your window here, it's amazing.
I got to feed them.
The last, we've known each other for 3 years. And
4 years.
every time I come back to Pittsburgh, I make sure that I got time set aside to be with you. And,
yeah, I appreciate that.
And it's a little bit out of my way, but no distance is too far.
No, not really.
Yeah,
really.
absolutely. So, anything that you want to mention about the Falcon or specific?
The Falcon is not just a ship to us. It was our home. And when it went out of commission, it was hard to take.
Yeah. When did you get discharged?
August 1946.
A year later, after the war was over.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense with the 2 years being in the service. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. I think after you came home, you got in a car and drove to California, right?
With a Model A Ford.
Yeah.
25 mile an hour. 7 days and 7 nights.
Wow. I have a picture of that car too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were out in Carlsbad, California, or something like that. I don't know.
I paid $80 for the car. 5 years later, I sold it for $20.
And you had a horse too?
Had a horse. That's the reason I come out of the service. That was one of the biggest mistakes of my life.
Coming out?
Coming out of the service, I should never, ever came out of the service. I'm happy with the family I have and had, but the service was something that I loved. I don't know why I came out because my horse would be dead by the time I got out. You know, in 20 years and so. But that was a big mistake because I would have fought to be a master diver because I loved that job so much. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie
Men of Honor?
Men of Honor, yeah. Yeah.
The only thing wrong with that whole movie, when the sub come that he was down looking for the cylinder down there, him running, you cannot run that fast underwater. You can go faster than you can walking, but you can't run like he run. Water's too heavy, and it's heavier with the pressure down below. Yeah, you have a hard time just walking normally.
But outside of that particular, part of that movie, was it pretty much realistic? The rest of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Cuba Cutting did a really great job portraying.
That's why I watch it every time it comes on.
Yeah,
It makes me feel at home to see the suit and how it all wears on you, and the heavy belt, and me only weighing 114 pounds with 90 pounds of weight on me.
yeah.
Yeah, dragging me across the deck. I still think of them days when they told me to get up, and I said, "You crazy in hell? Get up!" I had to be dragged over to the side of the ship to get on the cage to get over to the side.
Yeah. Were the suits pressurized in some sort of way?
Well, when I got in the water.
Yeah, right.
As soon as you get in the water, you there's a chin valve on your right hand, and you pull that out, pull it, not push it. You pull it, and it stops the air from going out of the suit and staying in the suit. And then as you go down the descending line, you keep saying over and over and over, going down, going down, going down, with your nose up against the helmet and your mouth shut to a point where you have to blow, and you say, hold it, they give you a jerk about 10, 15 feet up because you was able to breathe at that point. And then as you go down, then you finally say, on the floor. When you're on the floor, then you have your instructor that I had, being only a second-class diver, would give me a physical. My physical was, because we had so much trouble with 275 going down, was my nose bleeding? No. Was your ears bleeding? No. You talking in the barrel? No. Then he would stop and look at me and say, "Now what the hell are we standing here for? We got work to do." That's the way he handled me all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but going down at that depth, it was really hard because of our lungs. We wasn't getting enough air in our lungs because the pressure was collapsing our lungs. And instead of holding X amount of air, we only had enough air to suck in. So that's when we would stop and do the exercise that he knew because he went to school.
Right.
And I would take them deep breaths and hold deep breaths until my lungs expanded. But we did that 3 times going down at 275.
Was that the furthest that you ever?
That's my furthest dive, other than the dive that I fell off when I had to go around the back of the sub to see what was on the other side while we was waiting on the bail to come down. Instead of just sitting there, JJ says, "Let's see what's on the other side of the sub." So he called topside and asked for more air hose. And then he got back up on the sub, took me off the sub, and me the air hose to hold one hand, and I had to walk around the back of the sub. And he was holding up over the top so the air hose wouldn't get caught on nothing. And our light, I could shine 3 feet with our light. And I seen this big boulder, and I didn't know whether to go around it or on it. And not being experienced enough, I decided to go around it. So instead of going around the top side, I went around the left side of it, and the ground gave away on me, and I fell off a cliff. And I started getting my lungs crushed to
Because of the pressure.
to danger that
Yeah.
it could have killed me.
Yeah.
And JJ knew right away because the line just flew out of his hand because me falling. And he hollered, chin belt, chin belt, chin belt. And I grabbed it real quick and gave it a jerk and put more air in my suit. And then he pulled me up real slow. And then topside knew what happened to me right away because the line came off the ship so damn fast, you know. And JJ says, "Hey, nothing can happen to this Dago." So it was a joke to him. But that's what happened. That was that dive. That was a mean dive. But it was so rewarding because when we was done with the first dive, the first time the hatch was open on that sub, I told JJ, I said, JJ, I got everything secured and I'm so damn cold. It's unbelievable because water temperature is 38 degrees. I says, we leaving? He says, not yet. I said, what do you mean not yet? He said, I want you to hear something. Okay. So I stood by the bell and the words I heard, I still hear today in my life. Anybody for coffee or soup? That told me the hatch is open and we could look down into the sub. That was worthwhile freezing for. Yeah. That was really a sound that I still hear today.
Can you imagine all the men that you rescued, the lives that they lived, and the people that have...
They all did because I was the baby on the ship.
Oh, but their family and their grandchildren, they're all alive because of you.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You have a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm very proud to be your friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, friends, that's enough. Tears are starting to flow on both of our ends, and we're going to drown in our own tears if we're not careful. So I hope you all have a good day, and let's remember our World War II men, just like Dominico and all the fellows and ladies that served us valiantly in World War II. Have a good day.